So you heard me mention it earlier about this honeymoon, and if you're in the inner circle, you know about it. But let's discuss like the benefit and where it comes from and why it's important and how to make sure that you do it properly. So Webster's definition of a honeymoon is a period of unusual harmony, especially following the establishment of a new relationship. So if you're in a long-term relationship, if you're married, then you can understand they call a new relationship or a new marriage the honeymoon period. The same thing is true for your Amazon listing. And if we go back, you will have this unusual harmony with Amazon when you first launch if you preserve this honeymoon period in the right way. And if you go back to what we were talking about before, about how the algorithm works, remember, it's a series of averages of performance times relevancy. And that performance is your click-through rate, your conversion rate, and your revenue through those keywords over time, putting credit in the bank. Now, here's the problem. If you launch, let me use a different word here. This is really important to distinguish it about, because a lot of people think when they create a listing, they own that listing. You don't own your listing, even if it's brand registered. They are all Amazon's listings. It's their sandbox, their bat, their ball, their field. You don't own anything. But so when you create a listing, you're creating a listing that is in their catalog, in Amazon's catalog. But if that listing does not go live, it does not start to accumulate history. It does not start to accumulate any type of performance averages being blended together to determine the performance times the relevancy for where it should rank. That's what you need to understand. So when you first create a listing, you need to do it in a way that does not allow it to go live. Because once it goes live, it belongs to Amazon, it's open to the public, and people can contribute against it, and the algorithm starts to monitor it. So what we want to do is we want to see the Amazon dogs page. And I can show you what, let me see. Just throw this in there. And this is an Amazon dogs page. They had a bunch of pictures of a bunch of employees' dogs, and they put them together. And every single time you, every single time you go to a link that's broken or a page that doesn't exist or a listing that's not live yet, you'll get another cute dog. So when we refer to the Amazon dogs pages, this is what you're getting. And if you love dogs, you could just sit here and refresh all day and get a bunch of beautiful dogs. And they're very, very cute. Oh, look at that one. So how do we make sure we get the Amazon dogs page? How do we make sure that we don't allow our product to go live? What we need to do is set our launch date and our start date into the future. So you'll see that what that will do is say that we're not ready to go live yet, and the product is we're not going to accumulate any history. By putting the launch date and start date in the future at the same time that you create the listing is the only way to do that. You can't create the listing and then forget and then go put the date into the future. You will still get a blank page or a page that's live in the catalog. It'll go live in the catalog and your honeymoon is ruined. Now, that's important so that you can hit the ground running. What we're trying to do is we're trying to make sure that from day one, we have an optimized listing that's going to get traffic sent to it, mostly paid from day one. And we're going to have conversions. We're going to have add to carts and conversions. So we're starting we're having performance hit right away. If you do not preserve the honeymoon period correctly, then you're going to have accumulation of negative history. You're going to have poor indexing. Amazon might not know what you're selling because a lot of times you create the listing and you didn't write it all the way. And you have longer and more expensive launches because you need to overcome a lot of that negative history. So it's going to take you weeks and weeks to accumulate those 15-day averages and 30-day averages that weigh more, instead of immediately having the only averages they can look at, which is the performance you give it. So it's going to rank slower. It's going to be more expensive. It's going to take longer to rank. going to have indexing issues. It's just a nightmare. It's really, really expensive if you didn't do this properly. All right. So I hope that the honeymoon is solved. Make sure you guys set that start and launch date into the future. If you don't see the dogs when you click on your listing from your back end catalog, then you did it wrong. And I recommend redoing it and relabeling your products if you have that option. It will be worth it. So let's talk about how we work backwards, because I think that a lot of people need to understand how to pull certain levers and what levers to pull. And so we're going to discuss, like, there's a very famous way to run an organization where they talk about OKRs, which is objectives and key results. And if you set an objective and then you have key results that are going to be your leading actions that people can take to move towards impacting that objective, right? So what are some of the levers and some of the objectives? Well, we can, the objectives can be keyword ranks. They can be increasing conversion rates. It can be increasing profitability, like if the product's already in maintenance. It can be increasing, lowering the tacos, right, which would be increasing profitability. And what are some of the levers you can pull to do that? Well, it might be getting more add to carts, external traffic. It might be like improving your PPC click-through rate, improving your PPC conversion rate. It might be getting overall click-through rate higher. It might be getting your overall conversion rate higher. So what are some of the things that you can do there? Well, external conversions, you can work. Add to carts aren't necessarily as easy to get anymore. It used to be. But again, PPC click-through rate, PPC conversion rate, overall click-through rate, and overall conversion rate. So what are the specific and measurable actions you can take for each of those levers? The first thing you need to do is figure out realistically, what is my specific target, my specific objective? Let me give you an example, and you need to be specific and measurable. So I want to bring my PPC conversion rate from 10 to 14% within the next 30 days. Great. I have a specific and measurable action or objective, and I have it in a timely, and I have timeliness in it as well. So within 30 days, what am I going to do? How am I going to do that? Well, I'm going to need to potentially turn off lower conversion keywords, and I need to go and actively seek and find more PPC or spend more on PPC that converts really well. So I need to go deeper. I need to dig deeper into keywords that are longer tail, that are more specific, more relevant, that convert well, right? I need to spend more money on those. So every single day, I need to monitor my keyword ranks. I need to do keyword research. If I identify that the lever is to find more keywords that convert well, then I need to do more discovery, keyword discovery. That's my leading activity in testing. So organic rank from keyword. Now, another one is improving your keyword rank from position 15 to position 5 within the next 30 days. Very specific and measurable. This one says from position 47 to position 5 in under 30 days. That's a very big jump. That's going to be very difficult. That's probably an indexing issue combined with needing some traffic, right? But how many times do you need to pull that lever? So if I'm pulling that lever every single day and I say that, okay, the leading activity is keyword research and PPC research, the next leading activity from that leads to turning on new campaigns and testing new keywords, right? New match types, new keywords, going deeper, new broad campaigns, and then optimizing those, monitoring them. So my leading activity start at the top of the funnel was research, then it was an activity of optimization, and then an activity of, and then you see if you're moving in the right direction. That's what we're talking about working backwards, setting specific and measurable goals. Here's another one. Check the progress. Clearly, you just you get to the objective. Check the progress regularly. Did you plan correctly? Is it moving in the right direction? Are you hitting your leading measure? Is it moving the objective, right? So are the organic keywords moving in the right direction? Are the sales going up? Is the profitability going up? Those are the questions. Like ultimately, what is that bottom objective? And let me talk about the business for just a second, because you guys, as Amazon business owners and just business owners in general, you should be using this working backwards method in your business. You need to be setting annual objectives and then having quarterly objectives on top of that. So you might have what our CEO coach refers to as HOTS, which are, huge, outrageous targets. So you can have 1 to 2 HOTS, or huge, outrageous targets, every single quarter, and usually no more than that, because then you're getting spread too thin. You don't have the resources to actually put them all into place and do them. But let's say you start with an annual objective of, I want to grow my Amazon business from $1 million to $3 million next year. So you have 12 months to grow your business by $2 million. You did $1 million last year. So very specific and measurable, right? That's the goal, always specific and measurable. You're going to grow from 1 million to 3 million within 12 months. Run rate. Well, you have 2 levers there. The 2 levers you can pull are going to be new SKUs and old SKUs. Those are the only 2 ways that you drive revenue on Amazon, right? It's going to be existing SKUs and new SKUs. Now, what are some of the leading activities you can do to make your existing SKUs generate more revenue? You can optimize them. You can dial in the conversion rate. You can send more traffic to them. You can increase the organic traffic. You can increase the paid units. Like there's paid. The only sales you get now are 2 levers. You got paid traffic and organic traffic. So you have paid sales and organic sales. So you could drive more paid traffic, or you could drive more organic traffic. Well, which of those levers are you going to pick? Now let's pick the paid. Let's drive a lot more paid, because it'll lift the organic too. So then you figure out, okay, well, I think I can take my existing SKUs with optimization and more traffic and remain profitable from 1 million to 1.5 million. Great. That means that the rest of that revenue, that $3 million target, is going to come from new SKUs, new products. Well, what's the leading activity of driving new products? It's going to be product research, keyword research. The top of the funnel is going to be finding product ideas. The next step down is going to be validating products. The next step down from that is going to be ordering samples. The next step down from that is placing orders. The next step down from that is actually doing launches. The next step down is placing a second order, right? Once you've placed that second order, it's a product that's working, it's doing its thing. So the top of the leading activity there is product research. And I know that if I research 100 products, I'm going to order 2 samples from 2 different products. One of those is going to turn into an order. And if I figure out that in order to do $1.5 million in sales, I need to launch 5 products. I need 5 products, because each one's going to give me $300,000 in revenue this year on average, right? This is just making numbers up, but it could be different for you, or higher or lower for you. So I need 5 products that I'm keeping by the end of the year, which means I keep about half of the products that I order. For us, it's about 40 to 50%. So if I'm going to keep half, and I need to have 5 that I've reordered, I need to launch 10. And if I need to launch 10 products, and I know that I launch half of the products that I order samples from, I need 20 samples. And if I know that I get 2 samples per 100, then I need 1,000. I need to research 1,000 products. Now you ask yourself, my leading activity is 1,000 product researches. Okay, 1,000. That's a lot of research. What are the resources needed to research 1,000 products? I'm not talking about the software. That's like an obvious one. I'm talking about the time and the money and the people, right? Time, money, people. That's all you got, resources. So how long does it take you to research a product, to find a potential product and research it? Okay, how much time will it take you to do 1,000? Is it going to take you 6 weeks, right, of manpower? And, what is that going to cost you? And then how do you distribute that leading activity over time to make sure that you're also concentrating on your existing business and growing it? So that 6 weeks of time and the capital that you have, do you have enough capital to launch all those? Do you have enough capital to order samples? Do you need to distribute that? Like, how are you going to distribute that over the seasons? How does seasonality play into it? Now you're running a real business. That's the difference between someone that can do $1 million on Amazon and someone that can do $50 million on Amazon. That's the only difference. The only difference is going to be how you grow your team and how you scale your business and how you understand how to work backwards. So from this launch methodology, this is just fundamental Amazon SEO. This is traffic and conversions. And, the next step is understanding how to scale, right? So I want all of you that have never launched a business to understand that, or launched a product, that you need to get really good at this to the point where it's repeatable. And even when you're really good at it, it's still hard. And even when you're really good at it, more than half the products you launch are not going to be reordered. Like when I partner with someone, tonight when I pick someone to win, we're going to launch a product. There's a 50% chance or more that product does not get reordered, and we're basically just going to restart from scratch with that same capital. We get our money back most of the time, right? But there's a 50% chance we reorder it and it's cash flowing for us, and we've got a business that's off the ground, right, and running. So this is a long-term commitment. This is a real business, but the sky is the limit. All right. And I just wanted to put that out there as part of this class to understand that what we're talking about is complicated, but it's just the fundamentals of running a good business.